I have found some new errors and glitches in trailer 2 of GTA 6, over 400 days after it got released. And based on some social media posts, people are once again interested in these. Let's see if I can get the game delayed to 2027. And yes, this video does have a lot of stuff from one of my older videos, but there's a lot of new stuff too. And some of these things are discovered by other people, and some by me. So this is a compilation of all the big and important mistakes. And my name is Saukko. I help with the creation of the GTA 6 community map, and I have spent a lot of time analyzing GTA 6. Let's start with the most outrageous mistakes and glitches seen in trailer 2. And I haven't seen anyone mention this one before. As in this scene with Cal, on the background there is a guy welding the boat, which actually is not possible, as the boat hull, at least the real life version of the hull, is made of fiberglass and plastic. So unless they are making a secret compartment or something in the boat, this shouldn't be possible. And no, it's not an angle grinder, because there are blue sparks in there, so it's welding. So this is an oversight made by someone at Rockstar. And then the classic floating pole seen in this scene. I already found it last year, and for some reason people are only now noticing it on Reddit and Twitter. And I have actually seen people saying that it's actually attached to wires or NATO structures. But if you actually take a look at the video, you can see that it's floating independently from anything else. So this is clearly a misplaced asset. The point of this video is not to shame Rockstar or say that GTA 6 is somehow bad. The point is to show that how good GTA 6 actually is. Like, as these are the biggest mistakes and errors and glitches and bugs we see in the trailers and screenshots. The game is gonna be very good and optimized. As if you look at some of the mistakes in GTA 5 trailers, we can see that those are even more outrageous and like stupid. In an official screenshot, you can see one of these XYZ coordinate things, and it's just left in the official screenshot. And some of the clips are actually missing parts of the city, as the city just ends there, even though it actually doesn't. Of course, I am pointing out real mistakes here, but the point is not to say that the game is bad. Let's also take a look at some old discoveries from trailer 1, before we get to some completely new discoveries made by me from trailer 2. So first, probably my favorite one. In this scene, the old man is using a Bluetooth hose. If we follow the hose from his hand all the way down, we can see that the hose does not connect to anywhere. And there's clearly some water coming out from the hose, so they clearly just placed the hose for the trailer and hoped that we wouldn't notice this. But it's clear that the hose isn't connected to anywhere. Then, in this scene, the rear light of the car is not reflecting from the window, or it appears to be turned off in the window's reflection. Of course, this is just a way to save on computing power. Then the classic Mom Luke no hands, so either this is just a guy T-posing accidentally placed there, or he's taking a piss with no hands. And in similar vein, this scene just had people standing in the water without doing anything. They are basically just statues on the background. Then the last time I made this video, I said that this bike not having a kickstand is a mistake. It of course is. However, Rockstar has never had kickstands on bikes, so this is not unheard of. Of course, it would be cool to finally get kickstands. Wink wink, Rockstar, can't be that hard. And then, some people still think that this is a mistake, while it actually isn't, as it kind of looks like that this guy is shutting the door without actually touching the door. However, if you actually follow his movements, he slams the door shut behind his body, so no mistakes or glitches here. Then, in this trailer 2 scene, if we take a closer look at the instrument cluster of the Buzzard, we can see it has been downgraded. As we can see, the Buzzard is leaning forward, so the attitude indicator should look like something like this. However, it doesn't. It shows that the helicopter is level, which it clearly isn't. So this is a clear downgrade from GTA 5. But of course, it might get fixed for a final game. Then, in this scene where Lucia jumps off the bike, we can see the bike scraping against the road and sparks fly from it. However, if we go frame by frame, we can actually see that the sparks begin to fly, even before parts of the bike hit the ground. This is pretty similar to this situation, where the muzzle flash actually appears before the gun is fired. But both of these are basically just animation or light decisions, and are probably like this for dramatic effect. Then a pretty outrageous one. As in the Ambrosia postcard, we can see a truck, and behind it there is a container. However, it appears that the container is floating, and this is actually the case. It's just that the trailer under it has not rendered for some reason, which makes the container float. We can even see the container and the truck move in the video version of the postcard. This is probably just caused by someone setting wrong values while setting up the scene for the postcard, so it's very unlikely that this will be in the final game. Then we need to talk about this glass, as if we take a closer look at the strawberry on it, we can see that there is no cut in the strawberry. They have just placed the strawberry on the glass and stuck it there. This is not realistic compared to real life. However, the likely reason for this, who wants to make an additional asset for a cut strawberry instead of a complete strawberry when you can just push the complete strawberry into the glass? And of course, having two different strawberries takes more storage space. And that isn't the only wrong thing about the glass, as if we take a closer look at the base of the glass, and more specifically the shadow, we can see that the color of the drink transfers all the way to the shadow, and there's no scattering at all. Both the shadow from the drink and the glass itself is extremely round. There should be at least some scattering or like slight blur, or at least I think it's like that. I must be completely wrong, and Rockstar might have the most advanced shadow mechanics ever in games. And then another light or reflection related thing, as in this screenshot we can see that Jason's sunglasses reflect the surroundings sideways, as if the sunglasses were upright, and this seems like it's caused by it being a screenshot, or it could end up being the final game, I don't know. Then some horrible clipping issues in the screenshots. First, if we take a look at this woman's ear, we can see that her hair is completely facing through it. As you can see, there is hair inside the ear, and that hair is physically impossible there. I have seen people saying that the game has extremely good hair physics, as we had this scene in trailer 1. However, as we can see, the hair does not interact with all objects, and TBH, it does look kinda unrealistic here. And then in this screenshot, here in the top right, there is a palm clipping with the roof of the building. Here you can see how the palm is clearly penetrating the roof of the building. Then in this trailer scene, there are actually some more clipping issues. As here on Lucia's leg, you can notice that her ankle monitor is clipping with her shoe. If you compare it to the other shoe, you cannot see all of the shoelaces. And if you take a look at the trash picker things she's holding, we can see that she is picking up things without squeezing her fist, so the handle isn't actually working. But I'm nitpicking here already. And then in this trailer 2 scene, if we take a closer look at the floor next to the door, we can see that the door does not appear in the reflection. This once again is probably for resource saving reasons, as the door is a moving object, so having real-time reflections for it would be difficult. But I hope they fix this for the final game. Then there's something wrong with the floaties, as it appears that any weight on them doesn't affect them, and they don't sink at all. Like, this does look kind of normal. However, this one is weird, because she is clearly sitting on one side of the donut. So there should be at least some lean, and the float should be sinking a bit. However, it clearly isn't. So this is an oversight of some kind. Then there's an issue with one of the artworks, as on the background of this artwork, we see several palms without trunks, so the leaves are just floating in the air. However, it's a handmade artwork, so it really does not matter. This of course won't be in the final game. And then there are some issues with the audio in trailer 2. Of course, this won't affect the final game, but I'm hoping they don't do this in trailer 2. Some of the audio is desynced with the video, and this bit is the worst offender. Hey. The sounds appear before Jason's mouth moves. And this is present in some other scenes too, but is the most clearest here. And of course, this is probably just a trailer thing, so it won't be in the final game. And then of course, we do see some changing level of detail. So like things that are further away look worse. And of course, these are in the game for optimization reasons. They can't just make the game have infinite draw distance. So things like this road and this bridge having poor level of detail will always happen. And there's a lot of these in the trailers, so I won't be going through all of them. But yeah, as you can see, the errors and mistakes are not that big, and there are very few of them compared to other games. And based on the trailers, as they are in-game or in-engine footage, it looks like the game won't release in as bad of a state as something like Cyberpunk did. So you shouldn't be worried even if these errors worry you a bit. And of course the game has already been delayed twice, and the reason for the second delay was me talking about these errors before. I did show new mistakes in this one, but I think Rockstar has been able to fix them in the 400 days we have gotten nothing from them. So hopefully this does not make them delay the game once more. So please, Rockstar, news maybe soon without errors or glitches or mistakes or bugs, please. And thank you for watching. Please like the video and comment if I missed some important mistakes or if you have something else to say. And of course, subscribe to me to see more content about GTA 6 as we approach trailer 3. Thank you.